Hello. Haven't made a video in forever, but I just had I was talking about Mandela effects with my coworker, and we kind of had an idea, or it sparked an idea of how it might be happening. And I think it's not a new theory. I think other people have thought about it as well, but might as well just capture my idea right now, so I don't forget how I think it all works, and just to kind of document it, because maybe there's something else that will come out later and it will be so much better than this, or maybe it just sparks others to come up, to continue that thought, maybe, right, and bring in their own perspective, and maybe we'll come even closer to a theory of what it could be. I mean, I don't think we'll ever really find out, but I was just trying to think of how it would make sense to me. Anyway, so yeah, I talked to my coworker the other day, and actually yesterday, and we're talking about Mandela effects, and then he's like, yeah, okay, so if this is real, it's like somebody would have to create this, right? These changes. And he said, if somebody is willing to make these changes, that it would be very cost effective, it would be very expensive, and also probably super complicated, right? It's not something you just do. And there would have to be a huge benefit to whomever is doing it, right? They wouldn't just be creating this stuff for no reason. So we were just thinking that's kind of our starting point. It's that actually someone is doing it for a reason, to gain something for themselves. And so since I'm thinking of it in that sense, that time doesn't exist, right? And this theory, what's out there now, or it has been out, I think, for a long time, that past, present, and future all exist together at the same time, right? And also there's this other theory that any possibility that exists in the universe is all out there all together, always, as well. So not only do you have past, present, and future all at the same time, but then also any possibility, infinite amount of possibilities of how your life, anybody's life, any situation can play out, is out there as well. So let's imagine that. So you have everything that ever could be basically already in existence, like a pool of it. And now if you understand that any possibility is out, right, on a different timeline, let's say, or a different universe, but I'm thinking in terms of timelines, then if you figure out how to manipulate that, then it would be very beneficial to you, right? Because if you could merge them together, you can create the outcome that you want, whatever that may be. Or maybe even try to reverse something. It still doesn't really, I still don't really get the point of if we are, I am in all of these different timelines as well, right? All of the possibilities that are already out there and existent, I am in all of them, and I'm in the future, I'm in the past, I'm in everything all together at the same time, always. Why would it even matter to somebody to manipulate one specific timeline, right? Or if you manipulate one, is there a ripple effect that it affects? I mean, actually, yeah. If you do manipulate one, it would affect all of them. So, yeah. Anyway, so I was thinking of it this way. Let's say there's something in timeline C that you want, but you're in timeline F. Now, if you figure out how to manipulate the timelines, right, then you would go and get what you want from B and put it into F. And then you merge the timelines. That's how I think of it. It's like merging them. And then by merging them, you now have BF basically, right? And then I was thinking, if you have BF, how would you know which new version to override the other version, right? And I was thinking it'd probably be like the one, if you bring in something from earlier, then that timeline, when you merge it with an older timeline, and it's not that you merge it with an older timeline, that's confusing. I don't think you know of it as merging. It's more like you cut something from a certain timeline and you cut it into the other one. Kind of like if you want to make a movie, right? And you find a scene that's really good on movie B, and then you want to bring it into your movie F, then you cut that piece out and then you cut it into the other one, and then you have a new timeline. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. And then I was wondering though, like, how do you then know? So timeline B has sex in the city, but timeline F has sex and the city. So then if you want them, if you merge them, right? If you then cut a piece out and you put it into this timeline, how do you then know which thing to overwrite, right? Like which should become the new reality from these two timelines, because they're kind of conflicting, right? They're not exactly the same. So then I think it would only work almost in a sense that you could do it from cutting it from before, changing something that you're trying to change in the past, that you cut into this timeline that will affect all the future. And because it was before, that's then the one that overrides everything else that will come behind it. I hope that kind of makes sense and it's kind of, you can follow. So it's almost in a way as if you want to change something in the past. So if you want to change that in the past, then you bring it into wherever you are right now that you want to affect the change to. You'd cut it out, that whatever change you want to create, bring it into your timeline that you want to edit. And then by bringing it in from the past, it automatically has the ripple effect, right, moving forward into the future to overwrite everything then. When it does that, that could explain why there's some residue left over, right? Because of bringing it in and it merging with ours, I can see that there might be some glitches to, because of the merging of the timelines and stuff, that there's something sometimes where things are getting missed, or, and especially the more often you do it, I can see that happening, right? And that would explain why there's so much residue of different things, like so much, especially like the Union Jack flag, right? I feel like there's so many different versions out there all at the same time. Or I have some residue of Mickey Mouse, and there's 10 different versions of Mickey Mouse that I found. So there's sometimes residue where you can find all of these different, and maybe that would mean that's how often the timeline has been edited. So how often that same timeline has been merged with another, because then you bring in the residue leftovers from these other timelines into this one. Now, what I don't really get is how you, our soul, our consciousness, how does that then work? Oh, maybe here's what it is. So let's say our consciousness is in all the timelines. If they now bring the piece, like an older piece from another timeline, and bring it into this timeline, into a more futuristic, an older piece into a more futuristic, or they want to affect the future with the past, then they bring that past piece in, and you are in that past, right? So then that past you and that consciousness from that would override this future consciousness. And maybe that's why most people, because it's getting overwritten, don't see Mandela effects. They don't get it, right? But there's just a few people out there that do notice that something changes. Maybe not everybody's consciousness is able to detect these things. Like, so, oh God, it's so complicated. Yeah, like I said, so maybe all of this will spark somebody else and kind of like, oh my God, yeah, like this could be, and then this would fit even better, and that would make sense. So yeah, my biggest puzzle is still the consciousness, the soul, how that would happen. But I get the whole why people would be dead and then alive, or why the logo would change, or these things. And the dead and alive situation, I just had that actually a friend on Facebook, and now, you know, like I checked the friend and their profile and everything was fine. Then 4 days later, I checked the profile and the father had died. And I noticed it because like the profile picture and the banner was updated, right? So you kind of the father, so you're like, oh, something happened. So then I looked again, but the father had been dead 7 days already. So, but I looked 4 days ago and that person was still alive. And then when I looked again, the person was dead, you know, already. So that's the first time I had a personal experience with MEs where a person was alive, but then all of a sudden now in this new timeline is dead and has been dead, even though a few days ago he was still alive in my memory. And that, like I said, I can see that. So if they are merging a piece from a timeline where that person is already dead, going forward from the timeline on that they are pasting into this one, then yeah, then he's dead now in this timeline too, right? Because you cannot overwrite that part. You can only overwrite going forward. But then how does our consciousness, why do some of us see the differences? It's as if they're bringing us from a different timeline into another timeline, right? And then we are noticing that we shifted, but most people don't. How is that possible? So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Did it spark any new ideas for you? Did it reaffirm something, or reaffirm something that you also believe? Is there something that you can take out of it, kind of like my theory, and like work with it and make something else that would make sense out of it? That would be really cool. Let me know. And I'm also want to make another video, I don't know if I get to today, or about jumping, soul jumping basically, or timeline jumping, or quantum jumping. There's like a lady who wrote a book, I don't know her name right now. I do have it digitally on my phone, and I haven't read it yet, but she calls it quantum jumping. So basically, whenever, like, it's about manifestation. So whenever you desire something, you want something, you think it, you believe it, and then you jump into that timeline where you already have whatever you desire, or that you will get it, right? But yeah, so I'll want to make another video about that and go more in depth about that. But for now, yeah, I want to keep this just ME related. I hope you guys respond in the comments. I'm super interested to continue this thought. And yeah, if there's some really good feedback and stuff, I'll make another video too to discuss the comments and stuff that are that you guys are posting. So yeah, I'm happy to be able to make a video again. It's been forever. I've been super depressed and stuff. It's been really hard, you know, COVID continuing and no traveling, no nothing, and just stuck at home. I really haven't left at all ever. Like, I just sit at home and I do my errands like at the grocery store, and that's it. And then work, of course, which I do from home. So it's been very depressing and lonely and and then I haven't noticed any Mandela effects for quite a while. Like after I had like this big black hole I fell into after this crazy stuff happened to me, Mandela effect wise, there was like a big break. Oh, I also need to give another update. I have to make another video about that. I used to have these streams where I was getting deleted. So I need to make another video to talk about that one as well. Or maybe I combine the the quantum jumping or timeline jumping manifestation with that one. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, I'm excited being able to make a video again, and hopefully I get to make a couple more and really talk off my chest all these things that have been going on in my mind now. And yeah, I feel like Mandela effects are speeding up again like crazy. Like something is going on right now. I'm noticing so much stuff, so many changes constantly. And the energy just feels different. I've been also seeing orbs with my eyes now. Oh my God, I have so much to talk about. Oh my God. Yeah, I can catch orbs with my eyes now, but I haven't seen any in a little while. But for a while, it was almost every day. So many things. Okay, I'll let you all go, and looking forward to what you all write. Bye.